And then any excess we have, once this backs up and fills up, we'll take it, we'll run this line across the whole factory to fuel any future builds we have when we've got plenty of space for more future builds. Welcome back to Alchemy Factory, everybody. In the last episode, we got our new malachite jewelry line up and running, and we are getting the occasional diamond, which does actually make this profitable. Of course, we're turning the extra copper that we're getting out of this into copper coins and just routing them back through the line with a bank portal. And I did end up doubling this whole machine. The copper coins from this one are coming back this way. We did double up this machine, so we're making twice as much malachite and twice as many of the crude shards, which are then going through all this ridiculous refinery process, and we are getting the occasional diamond. I don't know. I haven't timed it. I get like one every 30 minutes or so. But it does allow this line to actually turn a profit. Without the diamonds, it's not profitable at all. Got a little storage box down here for them. Put the diamonds in there. Put our malachite ore in there. And then they end up on our sales floor, so our customers can purchase our diamonds and malachite. But today, we're going to tackle a new problem? I don't know if it's a problem. We're going to tackle this new blueprint, this new build. We're going to go into our tech tree. I think this one's going to be big, though. We're still wrapping up tier 6, right? And this black powder's been staring at me for a while, and it seemed like something we should research because it has such an enormous heat value for fuel. It says it has a heat value of 3,600. Okay, 3,600 compared to, what was our, let me just hit V here. You guys could probably see it better too. So our best fuel was coke powder at 660. Well, this new one is 3,600. It's 6 times the fuel output. So this is going to be a huge build. I think probably moving forward, like, we need a big line of this to supply either every floor or moving forward to shoot it up to the next floor above it. Still working on this idea for this next floor. Not going to tackle it today, though. That's a project for another day. Yeah, let's get to work on this. So, we are going to make this new black powder. Excuse me, my brain went blank. It's made in an advanced blender, and we do have this unlocked already. Advanced blenders are down here. Let's place one down, just kind of get an idea for the numbers. All right, set the recipe to black powder. We've got a few new things here. Let's see, sulfur powder, that's new. Charcoal powder, well, we've been making that for a while. And lime water. All right, lime water, sulfur powder, charcoal powder. Charcoal powder is easy. Let me kind of get an idea of what I need. Charcoal powder's made. I mean, we could make it in a couple different ways, but I think the easiest way charcoal powder is just wood running through a crucible. Something like this, and then you put down a grinder to turn it into powder. You would feed wood planks into this. It heats up, turns to charcoal. The grinder turns it into charcoal powder. Okay, that's easy enough. The other two might be a little trickier. Sulfur powder. Now, this is a new one to me, so let me look at it here. Oh, that's our black powder. Sulfur powder is made from, you guessed it, sulfur and a grinder. Okay. Sulfur. Is that something we buy? Is it in the shop? Oh, it is. No, that's pyrite. That's not it. Well, how do we get sulfur then? Hang on. Let me back up a tick. How do we get sulfur? Sulfur. Oh, it is made from pyrite. Okay, so pyrite And a smelter gives us sulfur and iron ingots? Okay, that's a little odd. Let me just buy one of these to take a look at it. Iron ingots as a byproduct and a grinder. Boy, that's new. Okay. Alright, I set up a little iron smelter here to kind of give myself an idea of the numbers. We do need to heat this. I'm just put some wood in it for a minute to see what it does. Okay, so we get sulfur and iron ore. Now we are producing triple speed, so this would be 2.5 sulfur. I mean, that's what we really want. The iron is technically a byproduct of this, and I guess we just put... Oh, we don't have a use for iron sand. No, we're not making iron sand anywhere on this floor. That'd be a good use for all that extra iron we're going to get, which is not a lot, actually. It's 22 a minute. It doesn't actually make much iron, so we may just end up trashing it. I don't know. I'll think about that. Okay, so the base number is 2.5. We're producing triple, so it's 7.5 per minute. And then the other thing we need is lime water. You just take some limes and put it in some water, right? Lime water is made from quicklime powder in an extractor. Okay. You should have, I should have known it would be an extractor, considering it's a liquid and has to be fed with a pipe. So, extractor, quicklime. I don't know the numbers on this because I don't have any quicklime on me or any quicklime powder. Although there is some quicklime. Nope, that's plant ash. Okay, so we're going to have to come up with a couple of builds. But this is the basics right here. We got an advanced blender being fed by furnaces and extractors. Okay, well, let's come up with a couple recipes and see what we got.
One eternity later.
Alright, I have done all the maths on this, and what we're essentially looking at is, for the math to work out, it took me a while to figure all this out, but for the math to work out, we're gonna need, 10 sulfur a minute at base speed, which is going to be 4 iron smelters, so they fit nicely on a blast furnace. Okay, we're essentially just going to feed... this might actually be backwards to how I want it. Oh, yeah, that's right. I set it up to be either way. So I could feed the pyrite in from this side or this side, however we want. But the final product is going to come out right here, and it's going to pop out our iron ingots and sulfur powder. And we're probably going to want a sorter on top of this somewhere around this to sort out the iron ingots and send them somewhere else, put them in a bin, trash them, I don't know. And then the sulfur will come out of this, get ground into sulfur powder, right? Because we need to set the recipe. Yeah, sulfur powder. We only need 5 a minute at base speed. This machine produces 10 a minute, okay? So base speed of 5, we need, this will feed 2. So we need this recipe 2 times, okay? This blueprint 2 times, and that's going to get 20 base speed sulfur powder out. And we're currently running triple speed, so the numbers will match. I do everything based off of the base speed so that no matter what my upgrade levels are, let me just go into my upgrades real quick and show you. No matter what levels my upgrades are, as long as my logistics efficiency matches my factory efficiency, so if they're both level 10, if they're both level 2, if they're both level 0, this recipe works, and it's 100% efficient all the time, as long as these two match the same level. So if I have 1 level in them both, it works. If I have 10 levels in them both, it works. Okay? So we need 2 of these machines producing sulfur. We're going to need charcoal powder. This is a little build for that. I think I did mention this. This is a really simple one. We're just going to feed fuel in, and what I would eventually like to do is feed it fuel out of this machine. The output from this is going to feed fuel for any of these builds. So this one's going to need fuel, this one's going to need fuel, and what I'm thinking is I'm just going to run a line of fuel along a rail and feed whatever needs it. Whatever needs fuel, it's going to get it from this, because it's so much more powerful a fuel source and efficient than even coke powder, which is the most efficient thing we've got right now. It's going to blow this away. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a bigger build, but it's going to be so powerful. So, charcoal powder, I've set this up to be able to be fed from any direction. And we're essentially just taking table saws in the back. All right, and I stacked them so that it looks a little neater. You know, we're just running table saws, cutting the wood planks, and we're going to feed them into crucibles, which are going to need to be heated. All right, so we're going to need to get a fuel into here and then up to the next level. But essentially, one of these builds produces 120 charcoal powder a minute, and that's going to be enough to feed 2 machines as well. So we're going to need 2 of these builds, because the base speed is 60 on these. And yes, I can just stack these right next to each other and just run our fuel from wherever it comes from. Say we're running fuel from here, we just run fuel down to all of them. I don't know if that's going to be where this ends up. It's just for demonstration so I can kind of visualize everything. And then we just need to figure out a way to get all this charcoal powder out and into these machines. And actually, I should probably separate this so that I remember it's 2 builds. I find that a lot of times that helps me remember the numbers. So I'm just going to cut it and separate it by 1 square. So I'll be like, okay, this is 1 build producing 120. This is 1 build producing 120. That means the top row is producing 60 and this row is producing 60, which is the base speed again. And that is the speed of any belt at base speed. So we know no matter what our levels are, that speed will match our belt as long as we feed 60 on 1 belt at base speed, right? So that is going to take care of our charcoal powder. The last thing is lime water, and the numbers on this was a little funny, so I had to get a little bit big on it, which is why, I need some materials, which is the reason we have 4 of these blenders. And I forget off the top of my head the numbers. I think it's... Hang on, let me look at the numbers in the screen here. Yeah, it's 300 per extractor and like 750 per blender, right? So each extractor produces extractors. Where are you? Here you are. Each extractor produces 300. Each blender needs 750. So how do you multiply these numbers to get a number that matches is the idea. Well, it's 5, right? I don't have enough glass, but we need 5 extractors to feed 4 blenders. Let me go grab some materials. We're gonna get down the last of the few things and start figuring out how to belt all this. Okay, and so this is my build for the lime water. Lime water, excuse me. It is not pretty, but it works, okay? It is basically stone crushers in the back. We're going to feed in our, stone. There are some furnaces in right here, which you can't see. I've used this blueprint so many times. It's basically the basis of all my lime powder, quick lime powder blueprints. The only thing is I chopped it down to just 5 crushers instead of 6, because this was making 120 quick lime per minute. And I redesigned the inputs and outputs for it a little bit because we need fuel to come in. I'm going to have fuel come in this way. We could have it come from either side, but I've set it up for fuel to come from this side. So the fuel's going to come in right here. It's going to go up and feed the furnaces, which you can't see, but I think at this point you probably have a good idea of what a furnace looks like. So there's 3 furnaces here and 2 furnaces on this side, just like crushers. So 3 crushers here, 2 crushers there. The crushers feed, make the stone. The stone goes into grinder or into crucibles that are on top of these furnaces, and then it hits a crusher. So something like this would actually be more accurate as to what it looks like. And I repeat that, I think, 3 times on each one. Anyways, yeah, because there's 3 grinders coming out of each one. Well, anyways, so I've got the outputs coming out and down to extractors. I've essentially just set everything up to come down to extractors. And the math works out nicely that because we need 5 extractors, I made 5 crushers and 5 furnaces. So I just balanced everything inside of that. The math wasn't hard. Once you get the base numbers down and you understand the base math, a lot of it's pretty easy. So all we really have to do, this is what we need. We just got to set everything up now and finalize our build. So since our fuel is wanting to come from, I want my fuel to come from this direction for this, I think this is going to be the end of my build. So what we really need to do is connect pipes to this. Something like this right here will work just fine, and then feed it into 4 advanced blenders. I almost said blasters, but advanced blenders. And then, you know, figure out the belting for all of this, bring it all down, combine it into our blenders, and get our final product. Alright, this is what I'm thinking the build is going to look like. Let me copy this last one here, and then we'll start piecing everything together. I think this is going to be a pretty good representation of it. So let's get our belts. I don't know if I want them like this or if I need to move that forward. But the idea is that we're going to feed our fuel in from here for this machine and this machine. And then the fuel can come. So these can come push forward 1 square. So the idea is that I have 1 belt feeding everything. So yeah, this definitely needs to push forward 1 square. And I need to make sure I leave room for purchasing portals at the back. So it may need to push forward more than 1 square. Let me take a look at that. Do I have room for a purchasing portals back here? I could actually sneak one in right here. Logs are really cheap, so that's not a problem. The only thing that's expensive in this is going to be the pyrite. So yeah, purchasing portal for each one as close to the machine as possible. The stone is really cheap, so I can just have 1 purchasing portal for that. Okay, yes, all that's going to work. So now we need to think about our fuel line, and it is essentially going to pull down like that. So what I would like to happen is that the final output from these machines, let's copy them, and I think I'm just going to put them, well, it doesn't really matter right now, but somewhere in this area. So these are going to run out of here, down here, into a belt to put on this rail, and then we'll pull off of that rail somewhere on this side, something like this, to fuel everything. So it will eventually be fueled by itself. So it's all, you know, self-generating. Oh, we need to get some belts up to this row too. That's not going to be hard at all. I need to get fuel to right here as well. And I think there's no reason I can't smash these together now that I know everything and have all the math all figured out. There's no reason I can't cut these and just put them right next to each other like that. And then we just need to figure out a belt to get up. I guess the easiest way is just take it from here and belt it up. And we'll copy that and paste it at each spot. And then we'll lab stand over them. And then I could have done this in 1 build. I should have, actually. I should have done it in 1 build and then copy pasted it all, but the idea is that that right there is what we want. Okay. Nope. Actually, now that I look at it, that's not what we want. That's not what we want at all. Because I didn't leave room for our outputs to come out. Yeah, I forgot the outputs. So, yes, a fuel line right here is what I want. Like that. So yeah, this right here will just move over a square. It will come from right here instead and feed into it. So now we can just take our fuel straight across on that line. So now that's going to leave us room to get our outputs out. Okay, much better, much better. Speaking of outputs, how many do we have? How many do we need to worry about on this? All right, so this is our charcoal powder, and I'm getting 120 a minute per build, and right here's the dividing line. So I need to take 60 and 60. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I need 4 to drop into a 60 belt for each one. So that's 1 line, 2 lines, 3 lines. So I need 4 belts coming out that'll be full. Okay, that's not that hard. We'll just set up some lab stands. Probably just easier to lab stand across the whole thing. Just make sure. Yeah, and then we'll block up, drop everything down with conveyor lifts, and get it all out into 4 lines, which is going to be 1 for each machine. That's going to work out just perfect. Yep, that's what we want. So I forgot the second row of fuel lines here. Let me get this all sorted out. Now we can take everything down. So we'll just belt over this. I really only need 1 lab stand there. I'll take 1 lab stand there and 1 lab stand there. And then I need 1 right here. So, no, I don't even need that lab stand on the ends at all, because they're going to come this way. So lab stand here is what I want. And here. And then we're just going to block up. And grab that belt, shove it in there. This one over here, same thing. Grab it, pull it down there. That's going to pull that line out. Let me just put out some things so I can visually see all my outputs here. Now, I should join those two like I did that one. Let's see. Like that. There we go. That's going to be an output right here. These are 2 outputs. And then I just need to bring these 2 down and merge them. So we're going to go with a lab stand, and we want them actually to come out to here. So grab a belt, pay it out from there. Oh, end of day 162. Gonna skip that. Like that is what I want. There we go. Fill this in with blocks so that we can get our belts across everything. We're going to take 2 belts here, 2 belts there. Now they're going to meet on this spot, so I need to take them out 1 line and drop them down. Like that. Copy that one, paste it in right here. And then just drop in our last belts, and all the inputs and outputs are handled for this. Well, all the outputs are. Well, I still need a couple inputs back here for our purchasing portals. So we're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4 lines. All right, so this line, we still need to drop these 2 right here. There we go. Now these 2 lines can just come out, and it doesn't matter how you do this. If you wanted to take this one like that, this one like that, it doesn't really matter. I just want it to be symmetrical for me. It helps me kind of visualize how everything looks, and so that it all looks the same. All right, so that's our 4 lines. Probably the easiest thing to do is going to be to put our blenders right here. Because we're going to have 2 outputs right here. Each 1 line coming out of these is going to feed 2 blenders. So we're going to want to split this. Oh, and we need... Oh, this is going to actually be a little bit more challenging than that, because we need to put a filter on this. So we're going to need a lab stand. Well, you know what? I actually don't need that many. I could probably just do it, yeah, like that. And actually, if I remove the belt, I could stick it right up against the machine. Alright, filter splitter. We're going to put it right here. Alright, and what we want is the sulfur coming out. I'm going to filter out the iron. Iron ingots. So those would come on the top line, and our sulfur is going to come out the bottom. Yeah, so I can delete that. Oh, not the floor. Alright, so this is going to be our payout of sulfur. And then we'll have to figure out what to do with this iron. I think the easiest thing to do for now is either put it in the storage box or put it in the trash. I don't know. I don't have any way to use the iron, especially on this floor. If we built it on another floor, maybe we could turn it into some iron sand, but it's not going to be much iron coming out of this. Like, really not much at all. So I'm just going to trash it. Where is the trash can? There it is, trash barrel. Just couldn't see it. And then just take this stuff out to something like that. I don't know if that's exactly where I want it, but somewhere right about there. So we're going to do the same thing on this side. And then we just lab stand right there. Put some blocks in. Get that. Oh, nope. I need a filter splitter first. Getting a step ahead of myself there. Filter splitter right there. All right, and that's our sulfur coming out. Right there and right there. Now, I guess if I lab stand over this and then just drop this. Well, do I even need to drop it to the floor if I just build like a little... something like this would probably work just fine. Oh, it's not centered. Oh, well. This will still work. Yeah, like this is what I want. So it's going to pay out from there. Feed in from there. Pay out to there. Feed in from there. So this is going to be our iron coming in. And I'm in this... for any of you that are upset about throwing stuff away, I'm in the same boat. I just can't see an efficient way to use it. If you know of a good way to use this iron, I'd much rather use it than throw it away. But for simplicity's sake, for my sanity's sake, I'm just going to toss it in trash barrel. If I ever need any iron ingots, I can just come out here and take them out of there. It only empties like once a day. So that's all the belts for that. Now, lastly, what do we need? Pipes. Okay, just think about belts for a minute. So we're going to want these two to split off into two belts. I'm thinking for the cleanest look, it might be best to put this like right about here. Although our pipes will look a little funny that way, but I don't know. I guess to each his own. You can do it however you like. I am going to take my pipes like this, and then take them all out in one line. And I'm going to connect them first. We're just going to run them all the way down to this way. I need them to go a couple more squares to right there. Then we're going to hold the button, hit T to bring it down, and just drop it into each blender. Up. Don't go too far. Like that. And then this one like that. Yeah, that's decent. Kind of looks like an exhaust on a car a little bit. It's pretty neat. Now, this needs to split into two for each one. So what I want is to take this into that one and then split it somewhere back here into that one. Same thing for this line. It can go straight in right here, and then right about here. Oop, not there. Right about here, we'll take it out to there, or should it go right here? Yeah, on the right side of the machine. Yeah. That looks good. All right, so that's two inputs. Last input, we can start putting down our purchasing portals and fire this thing up. So these last two, we need one for each line. I probably should have done these first. That actually might that might be a little, oops, no, I do not want to delete all of that. Let's do it like this. Those can stay, that's fine. So, ooh, man, I'm really going to be tight on space right here when I do it like this. But, alright, so that means I actually want these to feed a little bit differently. They might as well go this direction. Out one. Alright, so I got to carry these all the way across to here. And then in. Let's just do it right here. Yep, like that. Let's delete these. Alright, in the next line, same thing. Let me readjust it to go this way. I like that, I like that. And now where does it need to enter the machine? Right about there. That looks good. I don't know if I've got space for all of these, but we're gonna give it a shot. I may need to push these blenders back just a couple squares. Yeah, I am. They need to go back a couple squares, because this last one is going to interfere with the pipe. The pipe's going to be in the way because I'm going to have to put in a... Well, I don't know. That kind of looks like it fits. Okay, well, if it fits, it ships, right? Let's do it. If I can use lifters, then yeah. All right, we just lifter in these last two inputs and inputs. So how do we do this? We need to split it into two lines. So put a lifter here. Input it from here to there. Copy paste. Alright, now we have two inputs, they're split, and they're already raised up. So lab stands across to where we need it. We want this one to go to this machine, and this one will go to that machine. So take this one out to there. Yep, this is gonna work. It's gonna work just fine. And then we're gonna pay it into the machine from right there. Nice. This one we want the same thing. Pay it into the machine from right here. And now we just need to create a little lane for it to walk across. Like that. That looks good. Same thing for these other two. Just like that. Put down a splitter. I'll just do my splitters exactly the way they were on the other side. And then just bring them across. Not too bad. This belt goes that way, right into the machine. This one comes over and then goes into the machine. There we go. That's all of our inputs and outputs complete. Now we just need to fuel all these with purchasing portals and fire it up and get it running. One thing I badly forgot was to put in grinders because we were supposed to be making sulfur powder, not just sulfur. So, big mistake there. Quickly realized it once I started firing everything up, and it is thankfully easy to fix. End of day 163. It's been a long build. We're nearly done though. Let's get this finished up. Alright, so now we should be getting sulfur powder instead of sulfur. I don't know if that is going to mess these machines up. Let me pick that up and look at it. Yeah, I picked up sulfur. So yeah, it's going to sit there in the machines. So I need to pick up all of these so our sulfur is not stuck, because it would not take it as an output. So we need to redo these little connectors here, and now it should all work. Okay, now let me refuel everything and get it fired up again. And there it is, guys. Our black powder is finally hitting the assembly line. Took it a few minutes to get everything kind of running, to get enough fuel in the system. I did have to go and put down a little storage box over here and feed it a little coke powder to kind of get everything fired up. And now that it's all fired up, it is going to run on its own fuel. Its black powder is going to run down the line. I've got it running along the rail there. And then the first and it feeds off the rail to start feeding everything off of its own fuel. And then any excess we have, once this backs up and fills up, we'll take it, we'll run this line across the whole factory to fuel any future builds we have, when we've got plenty of space for more future builds. If you'd like to see those future builds, be sure and subscribe. Hit the thumbs up button if you like this video. It lets me know you like the content and you'd like to see more. And we'll see you next time. Thank you so much for watching.